Hello again. This is Ben Hitchcock Cross talking to you today without his good light on. Here we go. I'm doing this for Magnus something or other. I wonder if it's Magnus or Maunus. I'm not sure. Um, that is one of those hilarious back and forth pronunciations. Maunus. Okay. We are doing Young versus Amazon, and case is interesting here. Uh, I've only seen the first bits of it because this is a David versus Goliath story. They've got this pretty fancy attorney. We'll look him up, and then a house counsel, whatever that means for Amazon, uh, against this guy pro se. Um, and we'll sort of just live stream what it is that not live stream. We'll just play through what it is that the complaint is and what we know about it. I'll try to translate that as best I can. Okay, hold on. All right, before we start the hearing itself, somebody asked who the I don't know about much about Mr. Young, but this is the attorney from the other side representing Amazon here, Rudolph J. Bershnick II. Um, that seems to be him. I didn't realize he's out of Princeton. I don't know much about if he was out of Princeton at that time. Uh, his education looks to be better than mine. Uh, I don't know if Maryland's any good or not, and I have no idea of Washington and Lee, but he seems to be doing well at whatever he's doing at. And let's see, New York, New Jersey. It just seems like it doesn't sound like he is licensed to practice in Wisconsin, but hey, and he clerked Superior Court of New Jersey. All right, that's not fantastic. That is not like a federal court something. All right, take it away. Yeah, I'm wearing a different outfit.
All right, we're on the record in hearing number 2021-01968, the matter of the discrimination complaint of James Young versus Amazon.com Services, LLC.
Against a pro se person. That's David and Goliath for you.
All right, on September 13th of 2021, James Young filed a complaint with the Wisconsin Equal Rights Division alleging that Amazon.com Services LLC discriminated against him on the basis of a disability which he identified as vision challenges. On May 24th of 2022, the department issued an initial determination finding that there was no probable cause to believe that the respondent violated the Wisconsin Fair Employment Law by refusing to reasonably accommodate a disability, discriminated against the complainant in the terms and conditions of employment, training and assignment because of disability, and discriminating against the complainant in terms and conditions of employment regarding the assignment because of age. The department did find probable cause to believe that the respondent may have violated the Wisconsin Fair Employment Law by discriminating against the complainant in the terms and conditions of employment regarding training because of age. Mr. Young filed an appeal.
He lost, or he got no probable cause. This is a hybrid decision. So he got probable cause, terms and conditions is what we call it. That means a specific aspect of your employment. In terms of training, okay, and remember the case that we do this is two security guards. One's black, one's white. The white guy goes to suburban jobs. The black guy goes to the inner city jobs. Well, it turns out that the suburban jobs are more desirable than the inner city jobs, and so then the terms and the conditions are different. Okay, so that's what we're looking at with that specifically in terms of training, not for disability as a whole, but training and conditions, terms and conditions training because of age that was upheld. So he had a probable cause for that. So he had a right to the second hearing because of that, but it sounds like he might have appealed.
To the initial determination, allegations for which no probable cause was found. The probable cause findings were upheld except for the appeal tribunal found probable cause to believe that Amazon.com Services LLC may have violated the Wisconsin Fair Employment Law by refusing to reasonably accommodate the disability.
Well, sorry, but that's just huge. I don't know why this judge is using that tone of voice for that. Everything was upheld because he's reflexively for the upholding of his colleagues' decisions. That's my guess, but it's huge that the initial determination, Matt White's determination, was overturned, and that Matt White's decision was found, in terms of disability, was found to have been flawed. So he got probable cause in terms of disability, and now there's a double two issues at issue at this hearing, and that's what the problem. I don't know why the judge is talking about like that, like he didn't win, because he won big time.
That, along with the finding in the initial determination, where there was probable cause to believe that the respondent may have violated the Wisconsin Fair Employment Law by discriminating against the complainant in the terms and conditions of employment regarding his training because of age. Those two matters were then sent on for hearing on the merits of the complaints, which is being conducted in Milwaukee, Wisconsin via WebEx video on March 12, 2024 before Administrative Law Judge John Gelhard. Can I have the appearances starting with the complainant first?
James Young.
And for the respondent.
Yes, Rudy Birchnick with Morgan, Lewis, and Bacchius on behalf of the respondent. And,
also present for purposes. Go ahead.
I was going to just this Ricky, corporate counsel for Amazon. He's also
just his physical demeanor.
Okay.
From the.
Let me briefly go over the procedure for today's hearing. It is a formal hearing. The testimony is taken under oath. I'll be asking questions of everyone who testifies today as a witness. Both parties will also have an opportunity to ask questions of anyone who testifies today.
Did I hear him say that right? He's going to be asking questions of every witness? I mean, other than what's your name, it's not. That's not how this works. Both parties have cases that they put on and arguments that they make. The judge may need to clarify things based on what testimony it is, but the judge's not asking questions. What's going on here?
A witness. Both parties have submitted documents for purposes of today's hearing. Any documents actually received as an exhibit for purposes of today's hearing will be considered for the decision itself. The hearing is being recorded via WebEx. Please speak clearly and loud enough that your testimony is picked up by that recorder. Any questions about the actual procedure then for today's hearing, Mr. Young?
No, Your Honor.
And Attorney Birchnick?
No, Your Honor.
Why is he should be?
Let's move on then to the issue formulation stage of today's hearing. The issues that we'll take up today is whether to a preponderance of the evidence, the respondent may have violated the Wisconsin Fair Employment Act by discriminating against the complainant in the terms and conditions of employment regarding his training because of age, and also
of these judges,
whether to a preponderance of the evidence, the respondent may have violated the Wisconsin Fair Employment Act by failing to reasonably accommodate a disability. Mr. Young, you have the burden of proof in the case, and so we'll start with your case first. I understand that you're going to testify on your own to start the hearing. Is that right?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. And if you'd please raise your right hand, I'll swear you in for purposes of today's hearing. Do you swear to tell the truth, whole truth, and nothing but the truth shall be guided?
I do.
And if you would state your name for the record, spelling your last name.
James Young, Y-O-U-N-G.
Okay.
And what is your current mailing address?
What the heck, sir? I mean, seriously, I just don't even.
8103.
Are you currently employed anywhere?
It's none of your business.
Part-time, on-call nurse with Northwest Respiratory Services.
Oh. On-call nurse.
And when did that job start?
Mind your own business.
The part-time, about a year and a half ago.
All right, this is outrageous. This judge shouldn't be asking any questions at all, and he's spending his time asking questions that are favorable to Amazon, which is what lets mitigate your damages straight out the box. This is outrageous.
And you said you're on call.
Mind your own
You
business.
get paid an hourly rate for the times that you're called?
Mind your own
I
business.
do, and it's rare when they call me. So there's times weeks could go by when I'm not working.
When you are working, what is your rate of pay
Mind
with
your own
this
business.
employer?
$38 an hour.
All right. And you previously worked for Amazon.com Services LLC, is that correct?
Mind your own
That is correct.
business.
And when did you first apply to Amazon.com Services?
Mind your own business. I'll let you know when it's
That would
my
probably
turn,
be
when I
around
decide that it's time to tell you.
May, June
This is completely
of
inappropriate.
21. I think it's around there. If memory serves me correct. May, June, July. No, because I think I was hired in July.
Completely inappropriate.
Okay. And so when you applied for work with Amazon.com Services, what position or positions did you apply for?
The main position I applied for was safety manager. But during the process, and I did apply for an area manager. I was interviewed for a safety manager, but in the progression of that interview process, they
I
had
guess I'm going to be here for a
they
minute because
had
this
asked
is,
if I would be
I
interested
don't
in
even
the
know what
area
I'm looking
manager, and so I got one more interview, there were multiple different interviews, and then they offered me the job of area manager.
All right. And when was the offer made to you for that area
for.
manager
Who
position?
cares? Mind your own business.
That must have been in July, because I know that it was shortly thereafter, and since this position was newly
I don't even
created
know how
because
that's
I'm in
relevant
Fargo,
to
North
any of the
Dakota,
issues here.
that facility was not available yet. So there was a holding pattern until we had to go to training to go to Wisconsin.
This guy said he lives in North Dakota, by the way.
Okay, so the question was when were you offered that position, and to the best of your knowledge, that was July 2021. Is that it?
In or around there, yes.
What are you doing?
I don't remember the exact date.
This is shocking.
All right, and in your complaint, it says that you were you accepted the position as area manager, and you were sent to
This
Beloit,
attorney can't
Wisconsin
believe what
for
he's doing.
training. Is that right?
That is correct.
And according to your complaint, at least, the training was from August 8th, 2021 to September 4th of 2021. Does that sound right?
Okay. Another reason, he put it in his complaint and then signed his name to it. So presumably that's what he thinks. Why are you asking him what's in the what the?
Right.
Yes, Your Honor.
And were you paid then during the time that you were training in Beloit, Wisconsin?
Yes, Your Honor.
And how much were you paid then for your time?
I was salary, so we had several. So it was a base salary. It was $95,000 a year. And how they split that up, it was kind of goofy because they put it at 70,000 as a salary and 25,000 as a sign-on bonus. I'm not really sure why they did it that way, but that's how they did that.
Okay.
Keep you below.
So am I to understand then that you received $25,000 prior to going to Beloit, Wisconsin?
That's correct, Your Honor.
It's none of your business. How about some discrimination questions, buddy?
Okay, and in your complaint, you have alleged that you have a disability. Is that correct?
That is correct, Your Honor.
What is the nature of your disability?
About 20 years ago, I had, it's what they call radiokeratotomy surgery. I had really bad vision. Radiokeratotomy is where a surgeon uses no tools except for a scalpel. He goes in and makes multiple cuts into my eye.
Oof.
They're usually 32 cuts, and he
Oof.
had to go in. I had surgery 5, 6, 7 different times.
Oof.
So, I mean, this is completely to the standard of today's standard of using computers so that do it exact. That caused my eyes to be temporarily okay, and I was seeing better,
You can
but
tell
over
why I'm a
time,
workers' compensations attorney.
that
Holy cows,
scar
Louise.
tissue and the multiple incisions have left my eye to be extremely weak, and so my vision throughout any time, throughout a couple minutes to a couple minutes to hours, my eye vision fluctuates every day, every single day.
Oof.
So it
That sounds
becomes very
terrible.
challenging at times to see,
Oof.
especially small print.
I hear you, buddy. I hear you.
So, how have you coped with this during the 20 years that you've had this condition?
That's completely
There's
irrelevant.
sometimes
Mind
I
your own
use glasses,
business.
but I sometimes I
This
can't
case
have
doesn't
one
exist for the
glass. I mean,
curiosity of
right
John
now
Gellhart.
I've got several different pairs of glasses, which I'll end up having to use. I can't. I have to have. It's better to be magnified so it's easier. Like I said, the problem is small print. Um, because I could be wearing one pair of glasses for a couple of minutes, 10, 15 minutes, 30 minutes, and then my eyes, because of how tired they are, they start fluctuating again, and those glasses don't work, so I have to put on a different pair of glasses. It can be frustrating. It's like I said, it is more so for small print. Larger things, then I can cope because I can see bigger things. But small print, such as anything on computers, especially on spreadsheets, when you're looking at copious amounts of data, it becomes impossible to actually read.
Been there, buddy.
Well, when you're faced with reading small print, then do you use those glasses to assist you?
I do use those
Mind your
glasses,
own
but
business,
I
Judge.
usually have to use magnifying glasses to zoom in so I can actually see what I'm reading, or use larger monitors that I have at home, which I have like I think they're like 42 and 38-inch TV monitor kind of computer monitors that I use.
All right. And did you inform Amazon.com of this condition that you had at the time that you applied for work?
When I applied for work, no, I did not. Uh, but the first time that when I was out on the floor and having to see, because I was giving a 14-inch small laptop computer, and then when I was actually applying my job skills on the floor with this smaller laptop and the spreadsheets that I had to look at, it became almost impossible to see. So I notified Amazon of this issue on August 16th.
This is regular
So this is
safety
when you were
manager
in
versus
Beloit,
Amazon safety
Wisconsin,
manager is
correct?
way less
Yes, Your
data
Honor.
driven. Everything's gamified there. Till you die.
All right. So you started work according to your complaint then on August 8th of 2021, and then well, let me just ask: is that accurate that you started working on that date?
That sounds, as far as I can remember, yes, Your Honor, that sounds accurate.
Your Honor, if it's helpful, we could stipulate to the training period being August 8th to September 4th.
Okay. And what type of duties and responsibilities did you have as an area manager in training?
As the
Can
first couple
somebody
days,
please tell me how that could possibly be relevant to whether or not they discriminated against him based on the terms and conditions, training for age, or generally speaking for a disability?
were classroom training, which then you have projectors and stuff like that. Then they're walking you through your laptop. But the biggest thing is when I'm as an area manager, I'm expected to be on the floor, which means in the production area where all the products are, and I carry with me a laptop. Now, Amazon is very detail oriented on data, and that I am in a given you have multiple different windows open. These are spreadsheets because it is constantly keeping track of products, especially employees, how fast they're working. So
Employees are
lots of
products too.
spreadsheets that must be open at the same time to keep in track, to make things going fast. So that is my responsibility to make sure that, all right, hey, we got an employee that's going a little bit slower because I can see the data and I can see this data per the second. That's how meticulous they are on their data. So looking at these spreadsheets, looking at it, and then finding out what's going on and addressing the employee who is going slow and seeing how I can help them to speed up their productivity.
Well, so you indicated you're out on the floor and you have this laptop with you.
Mm-hmm.
You didn't necessarily need to be on the floor to be looking at this data, did you?
Okay, I'm sounding like a broken record, but there should be, the Supreme Court should have an action task force that should be stopping this I mean, did ya? Come on. It's really telling, I guess, how he didn't say that when somebody gets a couple seconds behind, it's my job to go yell at them. And I would submit that that's an indicator that this guy is used to being in management.
They expect us to be on the floor. They want us to be moving around and interacting with these. Yes. So having this laptop with me majority of the time when I'm interacting with these employees is imperative. There are
He's an
times, I mean,
overseer.
it's not, the laptop is not glued to me because there are times when I'm actually having to do, help out with moving product and stuff like that. But to have, I'll need to go get that laptop again because of any kind of interactions I have with employees. Because there is the expectation when I am talking to employees that I am documenting that I'm communicating with these employees. And like I said, pointing out, hey, how can I help you to do your job better?
By
And
yelling at
so
you,
looking at this, and
possibly firing you.
we're looking at real live data. So time, they're always wanting to shave off time any way they can. So time is of the essence, and making sure that productivity is going as what we're
Do you
anticipating. And if
sometimes
there's
feel?
not, then we have
I
to,
mean, I'm getting
there
Amazon
are
packages, but they're
meetings
2 or
throughout the
3 hours
day
sometimes.
where they are
I
wondering,
think
all
I
right,
could
something's
handle 5 or
slower. Why?
6,
What happened? How can we
or
fix this?
even next
Because
day. I mean, this is
time is money.
time may be
So
money, but
when did you
they've kind
notify
of overkill.
the employer that you had this situation with your eyes?
It was on August 16th that I went to my immediate supervisor. That would be Matt Chitty. Matt Chitty is the operations manager.
All right, we got the
And
first
then he had
supervisor.
relayed that information to HR.
So what did you tell Matt Chitty on August 16th?
I told him that because of my eyes, I did tell him about the surgery that I need because it's not one surgery. I actually need two separate surgeries to help fix my eyes. But I'm reluctant on getting the surgery because there's a high chance that the surgeries could go wrong and I can go blind. So I'm just not ready to risk that yet. But I went to him, explained the situation. He totally understood. He was very supportive. He said he'll get onto it. And which he did. He reached out to HR, and so that they can try to get some type of accommodations so that I can do my job.
What type of accommodation were you looking for?
I was looking for some a larger laptop for one because I can't see what I was doing. That was the biggest thing since I'm very mobile. That was the biggest thing that I was looking for at that time.
So you had a 14-inch laptop, and you were looking for what size laptop?
I was looking at 16, 17, just
He's just
anything
said
bigger
bigger.
to get me by. And in that process, I don't know if it was then, but it was maybe a couple weeks later, even less than that, that Matt Chitty, because he's one that it was actually he wants to give me the tools for me to do my job, and he had informed me that I don't think right away, but he did tell me that he did find out that they did indeed have larger laptops. So I was looking forward for those laptops. But there's a chain of process how everything has to go through. And so I had to go through the HR, which then they have to reach out to accommodations team.
All right. So
It's all in house.
from time to time, when I'm using my computer, I need to enhance the size of the print, and the way I do it is Control Plus, and you can increase the size of whatever you're looking at. Did you try that at all?
I did, but with the fast pace of what I'm trying to zoom out, and then I would have.
Okay, whether or not this judge feels that there is a better accommodation out there is completely irrelevant. The interactive process has begun and it needs to be engaged in good faith. That's what the issue is, not what the judge's feelings are.
To open up to get to these other windows, it's impractical. And it's time consuming. And like I said, Amazon is, I cannot stress enough that they are looking at people on time. If you're wasting too much time, there's a problem. So I'm looking at the most efficient way, which is, like I said, a larger laptop, because like I said, it's not one window that I have open. I have several different windows where I have to input and look at data, and so obviously on a 14-inch, having multiple different windows, now we got everything small, and then when you're trying to scroll things, it gets frustrating, and it's just not a practical means.
I don't
All
think we
right,
have
and
that
so
more hearings with this
Matt
judge,
Chitty
but I think
said
that
he was going to look into getting a larger laptop, and what happened after that?
no, he already said what happened. He
To
said that he
clarify, he
tried to
was
do that, but it had to go
going to
through to
bump that up to
accommodations.
inform HR, Human Resources, Ashley Moran. And that's what he did, because then Ashley had reached out to Ashley Moran is the HR director.
Maybe
She
the judge should
then
listen to somebody
reached
other than
out
himself.
since to it's a separate department. It's like the accommodations department, and that
Right,
is
like I just asked,
Christine
objection
the
asked and answered.
Temple, who helped facilitate to get me some of the items that were going to help.
My
What
fidget
did
toy is
they
a
provide for you?
Well, I had pointed out that I really the most ideal thing was to actually get me a larger laptop. However, she had mentioned a handheld device called a Ruby. And so she had offered that. She offered a larger, I think it was like a 42, 43-inch monitor, but that monitor is stationary. That would be at my desk. So she tried to push those through. Now, and so she was working on that, and she was trying to say, get me a larger laptop. She does at one point after that say that there was a 15.1 inch monitor available that she knew of. She had to verify though. But the problem is now this is August 16th. Now Amazon prides themselves of getting things to customers in a timely fashion.
Got him.
I don't get these things till over a month when I get back to
real. But just, I mean, they
Fargo.
got just 20
So
bigger
the
laptops just sitting
accommodation,
there. Just hook them up. Come on.
this is Amazon. Any other business, that could be a reasonable time frame. This is not. Amazon has.
So hold on for a second.
No,
So
he's talking.
you're kind of getting ahead of yourself here.
No,
so
he's not.
Sorry.
He's testifying.
Now, you had indicated to me in your earlier testimony that the first request that you made for this equipment was on August 16th.
Yes, yes, sir.
And now you're saying it's August 16th and I don't have this equipment yet. So obviously they couldn't get it to you the same day.
Oh, no, I understand. Because it wasn't that same day. It wasn't the next. It wasn't even a week. It wasn't even 2 weeks.
How about what you
Well, when did you have the
month?
conversation with Christine DeTemple about the equipment that they were going to provide?
I believe the first time, actually, I believe that was actually on the 16th, is the when I actually talked to her. So it's actually that same day.
All right. And what did she say about the timetable for getting this Ruby and 42-inch monitor?
Objection calls for
Let's see here.
not in evidence. Like, who said that she said that? These aren't even good questions that he shouldn't be asking.
Because obviously, I mean, I know. I'm not.
That
I
Mr. Young is
understand
not
that
viewing
nothing can.
materials on his computer or notes. If he's testified, it looks like he's looking at something on his computer.
Yeah, Mr. Young, you're only allowed to testify from your memory. You're not allowed to consult documents outside of anything that's been marked as an
Sorry
exhibit.
about that. Just trying to refresh and look at the. Then I would like to enter into
why
evidence.
not let him
exhibit? That would be exhibit C5, please.
He just proved the point. Totally inappropriate, Judge.
And what is exhibit number C5?
C5 is actually a printout of Christine's notes that she puts into her computer and so I'd like to enter that as evidence. Yeah, like I said, C5.
This is traditionally why, besides other rules of fairness, why judges don't presume to judge prejudice the person's case by asking them questions that indicate they don't know anything about the case. This is why you have the person who knows what happened testify or ask the questions. Here he's got to testify in a narrative format, but he can do that. And that's what he's trying to do. You're preventing him from putting on his case. This is terrible.
And this is her notes as to, when I had reached out to her, and that looks like that. Well, that document, it's on page 48.
Okay, so there's at the very bottom is a series of numbers called bait stamps.
Oh, bait stamps.
What number appears there? equipment that is going to be used to assist you. Is that right?
That's correct, Your Honor.
Communication with Ms. DeTemple regarding this equipment that is going to be used to assist you. Is that right?
That's correct, Your Honor. So,
okay, and looking at this date stamp 205, it looks like this was approved on September 3rd of 2021. Is that right?
Why would he know that?
that would be the approval of. And that's where it gets interesting and questionable, because it says it's approved for accessibility materials, approved, but there's really no, and whatever dollar amount I set it up, I that
Let's find out if the poor guy.
to shotgun approach, which I did reach out to Matt Chitty. Like I said, he is my direct.
Oh, sorry. Hold on.
The 16th. And actually, we want to pull that. Tells me I will not get a laptop. It's not that she's thinking about it. And actually, we want to pull that. Let's see, that exhibit into.
All right, let's see what happens here, because I don't get, now I'm really confused. I'm going to go.
Okay.
And there is a message, if we're looking at laptop.
Absolutely not. I came to.
Oh, there may be. Hold on. Sorry. You're all privileged to hear this music.
Email
on its face as Ashley Moran's answers to complainants written.
Acquisition.
During the move week of September 5th to September 12th. Mr. Young, as we discussed earlier.
In hearing number 2021, they are being introduced, and then we'll just take up admission at the end of the hearing itself in terms of those exhibits.
Okay.
So I guess to answer your question, go ahead and you can bring them up if you'd like to. I will actually be marking the paper documents here, and so today.
What I don't get here.
I don't know that we need.
Is it the?
She had her money taken, her wallet taken, and her.
Or not, for purposes of this hearing, that was your last day at Amazon.
I will be marked as Exhibit 4.
Come to them. They both agree. They both that he's not with other, because I know
in Quentin Shaw regarding the training by Ryan.
Ruffle anybody actually.
Exhibits, but I'm happy to do it. I have a question in terms of the exhibit sharing. Is that something you wanted me to do on my end? Last time Judge Reinhardt was the one operating the exhibits, but I'm happy to do it however you prefer.
You know what? So in my past experience, I have had some problems doing that and problems with people seeing it. I don't know what the problem is. So basically what I have done is I have printed up all the prospective exhibits. I marked them as they are being introduced, and then we'll just take up admission at the end of.
This is not how this is supposed to be conducted. Seems to me like a railroading of a pro se person. I get this feeling here that the judge and the attorney are working together. I wouldn't be surprised if Mr. Young has that same feeling. I'm not saying that they are. I'm saying that it feels like it. So here we go. Thanks for sticking with us. We'll keep you informed.